Well, good morning. Good morning. It's so good to see each and every one of you. I don't know how cold it is where you are. It's probably colder than where I am, but I am ready for spring already. I can't believe I'm saying that. And we're almost in February. If anyone's watching from the east coast of Australia or New Zealand, it already is February for you guys. So it's good to see each and every one of you. I did bring along my good friend Amber from the Cheeky Quilters. It's so good to have her back. I think it's been summertime since we've had her on. So maybe she's going to bring me some warm weather soon. Maybe that'll be a nice little sign for us. No? Okay. Well,
No, it's
that was
pretty
worth it.
it's it's cold for here now too, so sorry.
It's always a relative thing. So, what is the current temperature down there in Louisiana?
It's in the 30s.
Hmm.
So it's I think it was at freezing last night. So we're cold for us. Like
Okay.
this is
Well,
as cold as
that's,
it gets.
yeah, right now it's 22 here, or for us folks in the metric world, -6. I think it's supposed to, oh, good gravy. The high is it's supposed to be minus. Hang on, that's Celsius. High is 26 today. We're supposed to get anywhere between 0 and 8 inches of snow today. Um, every time they turn around, they tell you a number it's less and less. So who knows? We don't know what's going to
Yeah.
happen. If you want to warm up, go visit my dad in Australia. It's pushing 100 down there today. So
Oh wow.
there you go. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to
It's
let
30,
Amber
yeah.
introduce. If you want
It's
to
right
warm
at
up,
30 degrees here in my town. So hey, I'm sorry, Sean, I cut you off. I'm Amber with the Cheeky Quilters. Um I'm down in South Louisiana. I sew quilts, usually art quilts with my mom. We have a live stream every Wednesday. Check out my channel at the Cheeky Quilters. I don't know what happened to Sean.
oh, I put you on spotlight. I
You still
usually
there?
do that
Okay.
when, yeah, no, it's all good. Yeah, usually when I have folks introduce themselves, I like to put them on the spotlight so that way we can see you a little better. So yeah, no, I'm still here.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Sorry.
didn't run away.
I was like, where'd you go?
We had a time. The first time I had Russ from Quilt Meets World on, it was his very first live ever anywhere, and we were having a good time. About 45 minutes in, I disappeared because the house lost power, and I figured, okay, well, that's it for the live, because I was the host. I
Yeah.
figured it would just shut off. No, I get a text message from someone like 5 minutes later. Oh, Russ is still alive by himself.
Oh no.
So I had to run like out. I had to get a signal somewhere because there was nothing inside the house. I was able to run out to the car, jump in the car, connect to the live, and then say farewell to everybody. So
Oh,
we
that's
we
fine. I
always.
was surprised it didn't kick.
I
Yeah, I
know
would
I
have
did too
assumed
because
that
I
it would
was.
have shut it all down.
Yeah, that's what I thought so too. Because like the power went out, and I was outside talking to my neighbor because it wasn't just me. I was like, I thought I paid my bill. Um, I talked to him just to make sure it wasn't just me. And yeah, and all of a sudden I get this text message that says, "Hey, Russ is still going." I was like, "Okay, so there you go." So things
That's
to know.
funny.
We always joke about that whenever he comes on, like, do you have your backup generators on standby and stuff? And I'm like, no one's bought me one yet. So anyway, I'm here rambling, and that's not what you all are here for, I'm sure. Anyway, let's see who's in the chat real quick, and then we'll talk about what we're working on because I'm excited to see what Amber has, and I'm very excited to show you what I'm planning on working on today. So, Miss Katie from Greenland Quilter is here. She's our first person in the chat, and I'll actually be live with her this time tomorrow morning. We got to work on our legit kits together. She has got a legit kit that she's had for 2 years, I think. And we're finally going to get her to crack it open and start on that. I'm super excited about that. So, welcome to Katie. If you have a channel, please put your channel link in at any point. You should have your own thing. Let's just make sure Nightbot is working today. Is it awake? Hang on, let's go check that real quick. And then we'll go.
I had to update mine this week. I haven't um used the Nightbot in so long, and so this week I had to go back and refresh it so that it works.
Yeah, sometimes it takes a little bit for it to kick in. Okay, it is alive. Good. Okay, now we can move on. All right, Miss Joy, it's so good to see you. I hope you have your front row seat there with us. Good morning, Miss Laura Lee. It's good to see you as well. Good morning, Dawn. Let's see, Donnell, it's good to see you, and I'll be live with her at 10 a.m. So we got to do a live here to about 9:30. I'll go grab a coffee, go make Amanda another coffee, and then jump straight back on at 10 over at her place, where we put together clue 7 of the puzzle mystery quilt. What's it called this time? Not Fly Away, that one's done. Under the Sea. I can never remember the names of these things because we're doing a new one, Feel the Dreamer, soon too. So, yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. So come over and check it out with us later on at 10 a.m. this morning there. I'm going to be live 3 times this weekend. Candace, good morning to you. Good morning, Miss Sheila. Hopefully you're not freezing too much there where you are up there in the peninsula. Good morning, Miss Andy. She says, hi, friends. Lovely spring weather in here, Arizona. Don't be jealous. Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of jealous folks at your place. Pat Strawhouse, good morning. You're from sunny and cold Cumberland County, Nova Scotia. Good morning, Kathy. Let's see. Muriel Hanson is with us. Good morning, Miss Molly. She says it's a balmy 25 degrees in Fort Worth, Texas. Okay, that must be cold for you guys. Raven, it's good to see you again this morning. Doreen, good morning. Deb Cornell says she is here. So, yes, we do have at least one person from February. She's our girl from the future over there in Australia. I think she's on the East Coast. Let me know what state you're in there, Deb, because I think you're like New South Wales, Victoria, Queensland, but I'm not 100% sure. Actually, if it's Queensland, you're not quite February yet. Kathy Klein, good morning. And Deb says she's boiling here. Yes. So, yeah, while we're all freezing to death here in North America, Australia's going through a wicked heat wave. They were getting temperatures upwards of 110, 115 with heat index. My dad was telling me on Monday while I was freezing to death, it's supposed to be 114 here today with the heat index. I'm like, yeah, you can keep that.
Sheila, my friend. Melanie. I'm seeing
Melanie's here.
A lot of my friends.
I know. Yeah, I saw half of these folks over at Leanna's live because she goes, I thought I was the early guy, and I guess I still am the early guy, but she's the early girl. She goes live at 7 a.m. in the morning sometimes. So, yeah, if you want someone super early before you see me, you can always go hang out with her as well. She's always a lot of fun. Okay, so Deb's in New South Wales. It's February here now. Okay, perfect. So good to see you there. So, all right, what was I going to do next? That's right. We're going to talk about what we're working on. Jeez, I'm a hot mess today.
I know. It's okay. This is super early for me. It's 7 a.m. here. So you want me to tell you what I'm working on?
Yes, ma'am.
Are we there
yes,
yet?
please.
Okay.
Yep.
So because I am challenged to sew while I talk, usually I don't do anything that requires me to think. So today I'm working on these scrap blocks that just they're all wonky and they just have a white square in the middle. So they are just randomly log cabin-ish, I guess, but they just all have these little white squares
Well, that's fun.
in the middle, and I'm just using my random scrap. I have a lot of these are mostly 2 to 3 inch strips, and so I'm just putting them around my little white blocks and making them a little wonky, not really paying attention to what I'm doing. And so that's what I'm going to sew while I talk because I can't really mess up a scrappy block.
Say that because as soon as you do, you got to find a way to mess it up.
Oh yeah, I mean I can mess it up.
Okay, all right. As long as you acknowledge that, because as soon as you say, "Hey, I can't mess up," the universe is going to come out and tell you, "Hey, Amber, we got to prove you wrong right here." So,
and I actually do have some that don't have the white blocks in them, like the little scraps I have left over. I don't have white on them, so I'm doing a little bit of whatever.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see how that all turns out when you're done with it. I think it's going to turn out really nice. I see Miss Janet is here with us this morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, Miss Kathy from Yoga and Quilts. It's good to see you there as well. Miss Jen is here with us. And I think I saw Zaza pop in. I don't know if I said hi to you physically. I know I did mentally in my head, but I think it's probably as far as I got. I did have a lot.
I did want to tell Donnell, I did get your email. I haven't responded, but the answer is yes.
Yeah, I was going to tell that later on today if we didn't tell it during the live because we were talking about that just during the live. Okay, so Amber said that she does not want to do anything where she has to think about it. Well, I'm a little different. So I've been working on this for the last month, I think it is now. I've made the flamingos, I've made the paintbrush, and to now I'm very excited to tell you that it's time to assemble the whole quilt. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to put all these pieces together and hopefully not make too many mistakes. So that is my plan for today. I've laid everything out, and if all goes well, I don't know if we'll get the whole quilt top assembled during the live, but we'll make a good dent in it. We'll see how things go. All right, let's see what's going on here. Okay, so Melanie says here, "Oh wow, the wind is blowing my rocking chairs against the house, freezing temps tonight." Yeah, we're supposed to have like a nor'easter blow by tonight, today, tonight. We might get snow, we might not. Maybe with some winds, well, the winds I think they're pretty much guaranteeing. But other than that, we'll see what happens. I'm kind of hoping for some snow so that way I don't have to drive to the office on Monday, but you know, we'll see what happens.
I'm working at a hospital now, so I have to go in no matter what. So I don't
Yeah.
even get to there's no working from home.
Oh, yeah, and that always makes it hard for the medical professional. Medical profession. I admire you guys, everything you guys do. I grew up with a family of nurses and people who worked in the medical profession. My sister was a nurse for many years. My mom was the entire time she worked. I think three of my four aunts were nurses as well, and then the other one
Wow.
was a X-ray technician. So yeah, lots and lots of nurses and medical professionals in no doctors. Although my handwriting and signature looks like a doctor's signature. So does that count?
Yes. Close enough.
I just want this salary. I mean, I wouldn't mind this salary. That's the part I don't get. So that's okay. I get to hang out with all you fine folk each day, so that is good. Okay. Oh, change that.
The the other thing I love about um these scrappy quilts is that I use up all sorts of bobbins, all the excess bobbins that I have running around. I just use random colors.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing to do with these projects. Is it gives you a chance just to try different colors together. And I mean, I know when I do scrappy stuff, I used to overthink it, and now I've just gotten to the point where it's as long as the same colors not next to each other, it's good enough, and it works out beautifully. That was another question I had for you and everybody in the chat is with your scraps, I see some people cut them into like strips or certain widths and everything else. Is that something you do, or do you just keep them all in a pile and or separate them? Like how is your scrap part done? Because I
I
know some people also just give them away or get rid of them and that sort of thing there too.
I I have a large bag, and as I'm working on projects, I just throw things into the bag. And when I want to start a scrappy project, I pull out either the colors that I want or the type of, like if they're in a strip, I'll pull out the strips. And it's not an organized anything at all. And
Right.
I probably could organize it better, because it doesn't really work well for me, but it's how I fly. So
Yeah. Well, hey, whatever works for you, and you can always adjust it as you see fit. I'm still working on the best way for me. I don't cut mine into pieces and everything else because I figure as soon as I do that, it'll be like this much too small for what I need next. So I just leave them as is. I used to just throw them into a. Hang on, let's grab one real quick. Nope, that's not the right one. Please hold.
I have, I actually have that large bag, but I also have a box that I just toss things into. And then occasionally, probably once a year, I'll go through it and try to half organize it, take stock of what I have. But for the most part, it's just a big mess. I have large pieces in there, I have small pieces. But I do a lot of art quilts, so I need small pieces. So I
Pieces,
do
yeah,
rummage through it occasionally, yeah, to find the colors that
yeah,
I need.
awesome. Yeah, so I used to keep them on a big thing just like this, which I still do. But I had this brainstorm, I don't know, a year or two ago, and I have a lot of these little bags and cotton cuts that my puzzle pit mystery quilt clues come in. And so for my solids, I've separated them by color. So I have a red bag
Uh,
and a blue bag and a yellow bag and that sort of thing there. And that works out beautifully. So that way, when I need a solid yellow or green or blue or whatever it is, I can just pull this out. Oops, try and break my iron, and then pick up the right color bag, and away I go. Now I really need to start doing that with my blenders, prints, and that sort of thing. There, that might be a project for a day where I need to do something in the sewing room, but not necessarily so. So that would be a nice idea. So that's something else to
That's
think about. Go ahead.
that's part of my issue too, is that it's time consuming to separate it and or organize it, and I just
Yeah,
wanna sew.
yeah. But I found doing it by color worked really, really well for me because now, yeah, if I want a certain color, I don't have to dig through this whole big thing. I can just pull out the red bag or the pink bag or the yellow bag and find what I'm looking for in about 12 seconds. So it works out
Yeah.
beautifully. Raven says using the random bobbins is a good idea, and I might have to start stealing that idea from you too, because yeah, I have all these random bobbins with like next to nothing on it. So I think that might be a
Yeah.
really, really good idea. Okay, let's see what else we got going on here. Deb says she's got a lot of bushfires south of her. Okay, yeah, this time of year down in Australia, there's always a lot of bushfires, and some of those things are scary. So hopefully they stay away from you. Good morning, Miss Regina. It's good to see you there as well. Yuvuka is here. I know I butchered your name this morning. I'm not speaking well today. Jacqueline and Stitcher says good morning, all. Melanie's asking Pat where she's located. She's in Cumberland County, Nova Scotia, so up there in the eastern maritime provinces of Canada. I think she's like an hour or so west of Halifax, if I remember correctly. I know they got a bunch of snow earlier this week, and there's due to get more. Toronto got slammed with snow this week too. I was talking to some customers of mine in the Toronto area, and they were showing me some of the snow drifts and all that sort of stuff that they were having outside of their place. So, yeah, lots of snow. Basically, it's snowing north of me, south of me, west of me, and we're like in this little bubble that's protected. So, there you go. Good morning, Miss Jackie. It's good to see you. Mama AFO, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, is asking you, Amber, what kind of art quilts do you do? I'm trying one for the first time.
It's kind of collage quilt-ish. I,
Mm-hmm.
make pictures with tiny little pieces and secure them on like, I'll draw a picture on interfacing and then put tiny little pieces on the interfacing that make pictures and then quilt it all down. I know a lot of it's it's somewhere between collage quilting and confetti quilting. But I don't put a lot of people when they do the confetti quilting, they'll put something on the top of it. I can't remember I'm with Sean this morning. My brain is not thinking of
Well, thank
words.
goodness I'm not
But for
alone.
those
Thank
of
you.
you who know me, I'm always at a loss for words. So they'll put tulle on the top of the confetti quilts, but I just tack them down with sewing.
Yep.
And yeah,
And is that
Andy,
something you
I
sew?
want to try the I don't do a whole lot of what did she say, thread painting?
Great
Because
quilting,
I like
yeah.
the way that looks. Yeah.
Oh, I do too, but I don't have the patience for that. I get bored way too quickly. That's why I like doing these sampler quilts and the arty stuff because I'm not doing the same block over and over and over again. Like I love quilts that have 112 of the same block, and I love looking at them and everything else. Do I wish to make them? No, that's not for me.
Not at
I'm
all.
actually I actually am considering making some quilts that will have in the near future that you'll see later on down the road if I actually decide to do it. That will be a lot of the same thing over and over and over again, but it'll be for a specific reason. Um, and I'll try and make it as quick and painless as possible, but we'll have to see with that. Okay. John is here also from the Arizona area, so it's good to see him. He'll be on with me in a couple of weeks. I can't remember exactly when. Let me go see my calendar to see which wonderful guest I have coming up soon, because I can't keep it all straight. Let's see. February. Next week will be Miss Andy, and then it'll be Mr. John. So next 2 weeks will be Arizona folks. We got to get them all in before daylight savings hits, and then they get pushed an extra hour behind us, because I'm not asking anyone to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to join me on a live. I think that's a little early for anybody, including myself. So
Sometimes I'll wake up that early to go to the gym,
yeah.
but not on the regular. I did it for a while. I'm not a morning person, so it was a pretty good sacrifice.
Oh, definitely.
But
I am a morning person. I still don't know that I'm going to be up at 5 o'clock to go to the gym. So, more power to you on that one. Yep. So we'll have Andy next week, John the week after, and the week after that, I'm going to take off because I'll be heading down to Raleigh on Saturday morning to hang out with all the fine folks at QuiltCon. So we've done this part here. Yep. Andy says she's up next. Good morning,
when
Miss
does QuiltCon
Mary.
start?
10, I think it is. I think it opens at 10.
No, what day?
They have it open from Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'm going to drive down on Saturday. I'm just going to do a day trip, because from here it's
Of
about
next
2
week?
hours. No, on the 20, it starts on the 19th, I think it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the 19th, 20th, 21st, and 22nd. But yeah, I'm going to run down on the Saturday, and hang out with everybody and say hi and take photos. If you're going to QuiltCon and you see me, please say hi. Don't startle me. Say hi. If you tap me on the shoulder behind me, just be gentle. I can
Our
use
good friend from Scotland will be traveling to the States for that.
Yes, Miss Zaza is going. Yep, I'm looking forward to catching up with her at least once while I'm down there. So, yeah, I'm very fortunate that QuiltCon is close enough that I can just rock on down there and say hi to everybody. Melanie says, just because I'm awake at 4 a.m. doesn't mean I want to do anything. Yes, I don't think I'd be functional and actually able to talk to anybody at 4 o'clock in the morning. So, there you go. Marge Young says, good morning, Sean and Amber, from all the way from Australia. It's good to see you. It's always neat to see my mates from Australia. One of the reasons I started the lives at this time in the morning was, first of all, everybody else in my house is asleep, so it worked out beautifully. I was trying to hopefully catch some of the Australian viewers before they all went to bed, and also cater to the US audience and also the European audience. So I think it's worked out pretty well. So let's see who else.
I think, and there's no. I've heard new YouTubers ask about different times, and it really doesn't matter. Like there's a good time no matter. We have so many people watching from all over the planet, that it's always a good time for somebody.
Yeah, people have asked me in the past, and my thing is you just do what works best for you and your schedule, and the people will come. When I started this, there was nobody. Saturday morning was a desolate wasteland on YouTube for quilting videos. And now we have Leanna at 7, myself at 8, Donnell at 10, Russ at 11. It's a nice little thing. And it's just, it was convenient for me. And I thought, you know what, let's just put it out there and we'll see if anyone shows up. And I thought, maybe I'll get 10 or 15 people that will show up.
You've
maybe
done
20
really
or
well.
Yeah, maybe 20 or 30 as time goes on. And I'm now looking at the screen showing me 83 people are watching. And I'm just absolutely in awe that many people come and watch each and every week. You don't realize how much it means for me that many people come to see me sew and chat and make a fool of myself and ramble and see me be a hot mess. So, yeah, and there's
I'm on Wednesday evenings, and I get a lot of team replays. Andy's a loyal team replay.
And people sometimes apologize too for doing the replay, and I'm like, no, don't apologize. replay gets me the same amount of ad revenue. It gets me the same number of views. The only thing that you don't get to do on Team Replay is participate in the live chat. So yeah, if you want to sleep in on a Saturday morning and watch the replay, have at it. I love you just as much. It really, I see a lot of replays afterward because, if you're on the West Coast or you're not a morning person, you want to sleep in on a Saturday morning because you've had a rough week and watch the replay later, then yeah, go for it. I really do believe that you are just as important to me as the folks watching the live chat. You just don't, that's the only difference, is that participating in the chat, and that's really it. So Michelle says she's sewing while she's watching. That's what I do. Like a lot of times when I'm catching other lives, I do the same thing. Like I watch it while I'm sewing, and sometimes I chat. And if I'm chatting, I'm not sewing, so I have to sit there and choose which one I'm doing. Kathy was asking, what is it time to sew? Yes. What are we working on? Andy's answered that. I'm working on an Alice in Wonderland pattern. So that's just a Cheshire cat. I'm going to show you these blocks in just a moment. All right. Good morning, Miss Deborah. She says, "G'day, Sean and Amber from Queensland, Australia." All the Aussies are here today. This is really neat to see you all. We had our
They heard
Monday
I was on.
We had Australia Day on Monday, which is the 26th of January, and that is basically like the Australian equivalent of Canada Day or Independence Day. It's what we celebrate, and it's always the middle of summer down there. So it was a really, really, really warm that day. So I miss having Australia Day in the middle of summer. I'm usually freezing to death here on Australia Day, which is not the case down there. So, good morning, Miss Jamie. I did see you earlier, and I forgot to say hi. So, Amber, what have you been working on recently on your channel? Have you had any fun projects that you'd like to share with folks, so that way I can go over and check out the channel afterwards and see all of your goodness?
We and I always do the Regina. She said she had a good laugh with me. This week we talked about quilting vocabulary, and so I have not had any big projects on my channel. Usually Mom and I just get together on Wednesdays and have a topic that we chat about. We did quilting vocabulary this week, and I learned a new term.
Oh, nice.
Apparently,
And
I
that
was
is
the only person in the quilting community that did not know what bearding was. So, see, I
bearding.
can tell by your face when
I was going to say, now you have a mate.
yes, when the batting comes through and like pops through when you're quilting, that's called bearding.
Oh, okay. I had no idea. I'd never heard of that.
Me
So,
neither. It seems like everyone else knew that word except for me.
well, you are not alone. And if you're willing to, and I'd love you forever, I'll love you forever anyway, guys. If you have not heard of bearding in before this point, let me know in the chat or the comments, and just join team We Didn't Know What bearding was in quilting.com. Yeah, no, I know a lot of stuff, but I don't know it all either. Like, I'm not ever going to say I know everything. So yeah, no, my face gave it away. This is why I don't play poker. So yeah, no, I'm glad to hear that you didn't. It's
But
good to
look,
know
it
that
looks
you're not
like there's a
alone.
few other people that didn't
Yeah,
know. Yay!
Jacqueline
Okay,
didn't know.
so
John didn't know.
apparently, just the people
Candace,
on my channel are smarty pants.
yeah, there you go. It was funny though. Like, we used to talk about stuff at work. Different things, and half the time I didn't know what they were talking about. And so while they were all talking about it, I'm sitting in my cube and I'm Googling it so I can catch up. And one of my coworkers came over to me one day afterwards, and she's like, "How do you always know everything about what they're talking about?" And I'm like, "Google." Don't act
The
like
Google
you're
machine.
ignorant. Just pull it up real quick and catch up. She's like, "Oh, that's a good idea." So, you've always got that option. You've always got your phone with you or the computer nearby. So if you don't know what someone's talking about, you can always ask. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you don't want to sound silly or whatever, just Google it real quick. So there
I
you
am a
go.
huge fan of the Google machine. Oh, that is so cute.
Yep. So this is the Cheshire cat, and then the drink me bottle. If I was smarter, I could probably write drink Stitch Drink Me on here, but I don't know if I'm that smart. And then the little clock that the rabbit had, and then this part here is actually meant to be at the top, but I sewed it on the wrong end, and I actually kind of like it at the bottom anyway. So it's not
Yeah.
changing.
So is that the Alice in Wonderland quilt?
Yeah, this is the Alice in Wonderland. So this is part of it. There's actually 9 different blocks on here, 8 different characters. Well, 9 if you count the hedgehogs and the flamingos. So you got to see more of this come together. It's going to be in like 4 or 5 different sections. So I don't know if the whole quilt top will get done in this hour and a half that we have together, but we'll get as much as we can done. And then if we come back tomorrow at the podcast with some luck, we will see the whole thing come together, the whole quilt top. I'm not going to get quilted tomorrow. I'm not that quick. So there you go. All right. Well, I think it's Lee from Anfield Railroad Layout is here. Good morning. It's good to see you there as well. Mama is saying, I love it. I may have to do that quilt. Yes, it's a fantastic quilt top. It's by Art East Quilting Co. I will put the link to Art East in the chat so you can go over and check it out. I think they're still selling this pattern. I don't remember because it was so long that we did a couple of years ago. It finished like 2 years ago. I'm a little behind, but that's okay. We're having fun with it. But yeah, a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed doing this. So yeah, if you are interested in Alice in Wonderland, go check out the pattern and see if it's for sale. And if it isn't, it'll probably come back very, very soon. Hang on, that's not a cake. That's a mushroom. Hang on, where did the March hair go? Now I'm missing something. Oh, hang on, that's why.
I had a question and now I can't remember what it was. Hey,
It'll come back
Mona.
to you. Yep, Mona's in the house. Good morning to you. This chat is flying. So, Andy says here, my husband is the old man in the office, and the young guys had never heard the phrase cart before the horse. Okay, I must be showing my age too, because I know that one quite well.
Yeah, I was like, who doesn't know that?
Well, it's interesting. Like some of the younger folks don't know that stuff. So it's.
So I went out to dinner last night with a friend of mine for her birthday, and there were some other friends of hers that I had not met before. And so we were talking about, I don't know what, a girl asked how long my friend Laura and I had known each other. And I was like, gosh, we met in 1987. And that would have been how long ago? And the girl says 37 years. And so Laura said, how did you calculate that so fast? Because we were freshmen in high school in 1987. And she said, well, that's the year I was born. I was like, oh, we're those people now.
That's funny. Hey, at least she knew. Like you didn't have to use a
She
calculator.
calculated it so fast. And she was like, she didn't have to calculate. It was her birth year.
It's so weird to think that 1987 was like almost 40 years ago.
Right?
Like the 1990s was like 12 years ago to me. Like it's weird to think that.
I still feel like I'm 18. Like it's hard for me to think that, yeah, again, that it was so long ago. Time flies when you're having fun.
It does. Yeah, because people
When you're
sometimes ask
quilting.
me. Yeah, because like people ask me how old are you, Sean? And I've got to sit there and actually physically like count on my fingers because I was like, I don't know. The only people that know how old they are, like people up until about 21, so that way they can go drink and gamble and whatever else. They can do all the adult things.
Whatever
And then
vice they have.
and then once you get to about 70, once you get to about 70, people remembering how old they are and telling you I'm 72, 74, 76. At least for men in my area do that. If you ask a senior gentlemen how old they are, they'll be able to tell you exactly how old they are. But yeah, it seems like between like 25 and 670, you have no idea how old you are. So at least in my world. So.
Oh, you're right, Katie. That is 39 years because we're in 26 now.
Yeah.
So yeah, 39 years. Yeah. Crazy.
Yep. And then Molly graduated the same year as you. Because you said you graduated in 87, right?
No, I was a freshman in
Oh,
high school in
okay.
1987. So I was,
Okay.
yeah, I
We went to high
graduated in
school,
91.
seniors. Okay, so not too
Yeah.
far ahead of me. I was a 96 graduate, so
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I will be 53 in March. So I'm a young person.
yep. Hey, you're only as old as you feel, so it's definitely better
I
than the
definitely do
alternative.
not feel like I expected to feel at this age. Because, when I was younger, I thought that people in their 50s were old, but I don't feel old. And so apparently I was wrong.
Yeah, I really do believe that you're only as old as you feel, and I think that the thing that solidified that for me was about, heck, it has to be like 15 years ago. I did a sprint triathlon in Williamsburg, and it was like a 700, like a half miles, was a half mile swim, which almost killed me. Open water swimming is nothing like pool swimming, and then it was a 12-mile bike ride, which I did just fine on, and then it was a 5K run, or it's 3.1 mile run, and when you check in for these triathlons, they put your race number and your age on your right calf. And so I'm sitting here huffing and puffing and carrying on like a pork chop in the run, and I see this
Like a
old dude
pork chop.
fly. That I'll tell you that story in a minute. Um, Huffing and puffing, and this old dude goes running past me, and I look at his calf because I was like, "How old's this dude?" And it said like 74, and I'm like, "Okay, I want to be that dude when I'm 74, still running past little young whippersnappers who think they're."
I wanna be that dude now.
Yeah, but like, when I'm into my 70s, I want to still do, like, I want to be able to run, be able to, bike and swim and stuff like that. I was like, I don't want, that's kind of my life goal now. It was kind of like, I was in my early 30s, I guess, when I did that. So yeah, no, it's just a number. You do what you can, Now, if you have medical issues and you can't run in that, that's okay, But yeah,
Well, I
don't
was
just
gonna say, my problem is that I did too much of that when I was younger, and
yeah,
now my knees are shot. They don't wanna run at all. I'm happy to
yeah.
just walk now.
Well, it's like, you can still bike or that, do low
Yeah.
impact stuff, like, but yeah, don't just say, okay, well, I'm 70, I can't do anything else anymore. Um, yeah. I hope that makes sense and
I
I'm not offending anybody. I haven't seen the numbers drop, so I guess I've done all right. Good morning, Miss Donna. It's good to see you. Yep. All right. Sorry, I'm just a hot mess. Yes. Yeah, Molly says she always says you're only old as you act. Muriel graduated in 86. Okay, so not, yeah, it's like, wow, it's my 30 high school reunion this year. Oh, that's nuts. It is. Yeah, 2026. Yeah, it's 30 years. In December, it'll be 30 years since I graduated high school. I am getting old. Oh, well. Anyway, that'll be
only as
fun.
old as you feel, remember?
Only as old as you feel. Yeah, well, I won't be going to the reunion because it's on the other side of the planet on the wrong time of year. So they will all have a good time. I'll just send them all good vibes.
How
So
often do you get back to Australia?
I have not been since 2017. I don't know when I'll get there next.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, we were planning on going like 2020, but you can understand why we didn't go. And then the airline
Yep.
ticket price has just been way too much recently. So
Yeah.
yeah, we'll get that probably next year, I think. So we'll see what happens with that. All right. Let's see. I know I've missed
Now,
stuff
did
in the
you say
chat.
did you say you graduated high school in December?
Yes.
In the month of December?
Yes, ma'am. We start our school because the season's opposite. The kids will actually start their school year on Monday,
Okay. And
and
that
then
was my follow-up question about when the school year was.
yeah, so they usually start like very late January or the beginning of February. Now each state might start a little different, but I was looking at New South Wales' schedule, and they start on Monday. I think my niece and nephews went back to preschool on Friday. I saw photos on my sister posted a photo the other day of the kids going to preschool. So I think their preschool runs like during the school year. I'm not sure. So,
Okay.
but yeah, we would have like we'd go to school for 10 weeks, we get 2 weeks off, another 10 weeks, 2 weeks off, another 10 weeks, 2 weeks off, and another 10 weeks, and then we'd be off for 6 weeks for summer. So our summer break's about half of what it is in the US, but we get more breaks during the year, which for me, I think is a much better idea. But
I
that's
agree 100%. Those I would love that schedule. But
yeah.
I don't have children in school anymore, and my grandbabies are too young to be in school. Well, I have one in pre-K.
So you'll blink and they'll be graduating middle school. So all right. So this is the next section here. We've got the little door. I think it's the dormouse they call it. On top of all the cups. And then this is my favorite block out of all of them. It's the March here. I just love the colors.
Oh, I love that.
We've got that, and
Now,
then we
was
get
it a
to
kit?
yes. Oh, that's what I meant to go back to. I had a question about that. Yes, so this was a kit. And it was also a sew along by Art East. So I bought the kit, so it came with all the fabrics. I had to cut out all the pieces. It wasn't pre-cut, unfortunately. Um, if that ever becomes a thing, I'll definitely be down. I'll definitely be down for it. So it's a lot of cutting, but it's a lot of fun. You know, you cut out each block individually. You know, you might spend an hour or two or three cutting out each block, but
5.
you put on someone's live. You got hashtag team replay. You put on someone's replay. You just sit there and watch. You know, listen to it while you cut. I just enjoy the journey, and then yeah, you just put it all together. So, who was it? Someone was asking me earlier. I think it was Mama was asking, what do you get with the kits? I believe if it's correct. Okay, yeah. Mama says, what does Access get you when you get the kit? Access to the Art East Quilting Co community. I believe you get the access to the Art East Quilting Co community. It's kind of like a little it's a website you go on. You can share pictures. You can ask questions. It has all the pattern downloads. They're available to you and that sort of thing there as well. So it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. They have a new one coming out in April, which I am super excited about. Called Second Star to the Right. It is based on Peter Pan, using a lot of Riley Blake fabrics. Although you do have the option is to buy the pattern only and do it that way. So if that's something that interests you, definitely go check out the link that I've posted in the chat and see if that's something that's of interest to you. If you do use this link and make a purchase, it will not cost you any extra, but full disclosure, I will get a small commission. I'm really looking forward to that. Donna is also hosting some retreats in the near future. She's just put a link in there for those. So if that's something that interests you, if you want to hang out with Donna and all her friends, I've never been to one of her retreats, but I can just imagine it would be an absolute blast. A lot of
It's an
laughs, a lot of
in-person retreat?
yeah, they're in-person retreats. I think the next one is in Kentucky in March. Is that right? And I think she's just like one in Pennsylvania in June and that sort of thing there. But go check out the links that she's posted if you're looking for an in-person retreat and that sort of thing there as well. Because yeah, when Donna and all her quilting buddies get together, it's always a good time. I got to hang out with them a little bit at QuiltCon a couple of years ago, and it was an absolute blast. So I could just imagine doing a retreat with her. It'll be a lot of fun. So there you
I
go.
haven't
All
had
right.
a whole lot of negative experiences, hanging out with quilters in general.
No, they're always a lot of fun. I mean, apparently there's these people called quilt police. I've never come across them, thank goodness. And if I did, I'd just tell them, thank you for your opinion and have a nice day and just send them on their way.
I'm way too sassy for the quilt police. I think they're afraid of me.
Hey, that's a good problem. That's a good problem to have. Okay, so we got those two.
I break all the rules.
Hey,
Not on purpose, I just don't know the rules. I figure
the
it out
rules
as I go.
are the rules are what works for you works for you. That's all you have to worry about.
Right.
Don't worry about it.
I could never put a quilt in a competition because, like, that's where the quilt police are, apparently.
Yeah, but that's a justified. You're entering a quilt into a contest to be judged and evaluated against other quilters. So, like, there, I don't see it's a bad thing. And even so, when they give you your evaluation, it'll tell you, or at least the ones I've been in, it'll say areas to improve. They're not saying you suck or you're terrible. It says, this is where you can improve. And it's valuable feedback. I've found it's very valuable, and I've actually improved as a quilter and refined my skills because of some of the areas of improvement that they've noted over the years. So yeah, they're not negative. They're just saying, hey, we've
Yeah.
we've noticed that if you do this, it'll be better. So
So
I
do they
take it
look at
as,
things
go ahead.
do they look at things like the way that your seams are pressed and whatnot?
Yeah, they depend on which, like every show is different, every judge is different. But yeah, they're generally looking for, is your stitching even? Are your points nice? Are all the intersections all together? That sort of thing there. How dense is your quilting? Is it an even density quilted? Is it even quilting density across the board and that sort of thing there? I do have some videos that I've done, like quilt reports, like from the different shows that I've entered, explaining what they said and where I can improve. But I always tell people, if you've ever been interested in entering a quilt show and you're on the fence and you don't know if your quilt's good enough, just jump in and do it. You'll
Yeah.
surprise yourself. The first quilt that I entered was a hot mess. There was the intersections weren't even close. The points weren't close. I was like, you know what? If I don't put it in, I never will. I'll never ever
Yeah.
do it. I got third place in the state fair.
Oh, nice.
Yes, I was as shocked as anybody else. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to get anything for this, but we'll just try and see what happens. And so, yeah, sometimes you may surprise yourself. And the feedback, like Donna's saying here, I'm with you, Sean. I answer for the feedback, and it's kind of a report card of areas for improvement. That's exactly what it is. They're not being mean. They're just giving you constructive
Yeah.
feedback. So, and I mean, even the quilt behind me, you can see here at that pretty second place. The points on that are there's some of the points on that are horrible. Some of the intersections where the stuff is, it's off by a good amount. And I when I saw a second place ribbon on that one morning when Ian sent me the picture, I almost fell out of my bed. So yeah, no, don't. If you're on the fence, just do it, put it in, and see what happens. And if you get a ribbon, fantastic. If not, look at what they tell you and just focus on that for the next time, and it'll make you a better quilter. So, but if you're
Yeah.
not interested, then don't do it, obviously. So there you go. Muriel says just enter this as an abstract, and it's okay to be a hot mess. That's a good idea. I like that. I love my viewers. You'll come up with the best ideas. So Andy says, since I know my quilts aren't perfect, I can receive the feedback as confirmation of what I need to work on. Yeah, and none of those quilts in that show, any show you go to, I don't care, are ever going to be perfect. There's going to be a mistake on the best in show. It just has less mistakes than the others. Or just or the
Andy, like I know what my mistakes are. Um, like I don't think it would be a surprise to me, the feedback I would get. I'm probably a much worse critic, as most of us
oh
are.
yeah. Because the thing that kind of interested me was, like, I always worried, is my binding good? I really thought that I'd get comments back saying, you need to work on your binding. No, they always put that it's great. It's satisfactory. It's great. So, yeah, will you get feedback that says you need improvement? Yeah, it always says my points need work, my intersections need work. I expect that. But I actually got validation that some areas that I was a bit worried about were actually quite good. So, sometimes you see the opposite of what you expect. So there you go. All right. Yeah, but don't, yeah. If you're on the fence, please put it in, see what happens. You may surprise yourself. If you put it into a national show, that's a whole different kettle of fish. But yeah, enter a local fair, enter a state fair. The entry prices are usually affordable. I mean, I think I pay $5 a quilt for the state fair, and I think some of the local shows are even cheaper. So yeah, no,
So
I highly encourage people.
I'm chain piecing all of these, so I'm working on the first round of blocks. I'm doing about 9 of them, I think. So
Oh,
I
there you
have the
go.
first the first block done. Well, the first round. I also recently discovered that I was making my random bits blocks too big, and that's what was stressing me out. That's why
Oh, okay.
it wasn't fun anymore. So now I make them with this ruler. It's a 6.5 inch ruler instead of,
Mm-hmm.
I think I was doing 8 inches before, and it goes so much faster. It's so much easier. And so what I do is I make, like, I did my first round of the block, and so now I need to make it just a little bit bigger to fit in my square. So I just add
That's
another
good.
round.
No, it's good. Hey, whatever you can do to make it easier on yourself is always a good thing. Yeah, my first quilt was actually made out of 6.5 inch squares, so that worked out beautifully. Deb says she shows a quilt teacher my quilts. I'm happy with them as if you're riding by on a horse, you won't see it. She says, Deb, I would make you pull it apart. And to me, that's negative. Yeah, and again, it's totally up to you. Like I like the analogy with the horse. I know Stephen from the Idiot Quilter tells us that all the time. I believe the same thing. The other thing you got to remember too with these quilt shows is a lot of times the judges only have like 1 or 2 minutes to evaluate each quilt because they're looking at
Oh, I never
dozens.
thought about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're looking at dozens, if not hundreds, of quilts during the space of a day or two. So they're not going to sit there with a fine tooth comb and look over your quilt for 10 or 12 minutes. So half the mistakes that you see, they may not even pick up on. So,
Yeah.
just
Oh, I hadn't even thought about that. That's a great point.
yeah, someone told me that once that they're only able to look at it for a little bit of time. So yeah, obviously put the best work in that you can. Like don't just put something sloppy and expect it to win best in show. But don't worry about every little thing because yeah, they've only got a couple of minutes to look at it, and there's a rubric on how they grade it. Some of it's on visual appeal, some of it's on quilting, and that's that sort of thing there. So and it's an overall score. So
Yeah.
there you go.
The other thing that I feel was I think it was the QuiltCon winner last year was the Indigenous woman.
Okay.
Was that I don't remember. I think that was at QuiltCon. That quilt took her 5 years to make, and so I
Oh
felt
yeah.
so much better that yeah, like that's not a quick thing, that she spent so much time developing the pattern and making the quilt, and that commitment that she had, and that's what it takes to me to win something huge like that.
Oh,
It was
definitely. Yeah.
absolutely a stunning quilt.
Yeah. Some of the stuff I see it's best in shows, especially at like the biggest shows like the Mid Atlantic and QuiltCon and that, like the amount of work it goes into that stuff is like, yeah, I'll never be at that level. And I'm perfectly okay with that. I'm happy just doing my state fair thing every year
Yeah.
and just having a good time of it. So all right. Good morning, Ken. It's good to see you, and thank you for joining the membership. It's so good to have you here join us. That's a optional paid extra. It's just I know folks sometimes like to contribute financially to the channel. Totally optional. I always want to have my videos free and accessible to all, but that is an option there for you if you ever desire to do that. So thank you so much for that. Andy says, agreed, Deb, in class, I never say someone has to rip out. I let each quilt to decide their own level of affection. And I'm totally agreement with that. If I make a mistake, I look at it and go, okay, how much time is it going to take me to rip out?
Yeah.
Is it going to bother me? And is ripping it out and redoing it worth the time it's going to take? And if the answer to all those is yes, then I rip it out. If the answer to most of those is no, it stays as is. Sometimes it's a new design element. Sometimes it's not. A lot of times it's not worth it. I mean, point in case, I showing you a little bit ago this clock, this
Mhm.
horizontal. It's supposed to be up here at the top. It's a design element. I look at it afterwards. I was like, I actually like that better. So yeah, there's a lot of times I don't rip it out. There are some times that I will because it needs to. Like it's going to bother me. if it's a gift and I'm not going to have to, if I'm not going to look at it, if it looks okay and I'm not going to be the one that's bothered by it, a lot of times it stays.
See, and
I'm
I'm
not
the
going to get,
opposite. If it's a gift, I'm fixing it.
well, yeah, again, if it's there to look horrible, then no. But if it's not something that's, they're never going to notice, then does that make sense? I mean, I'm not trying to be mean. I hope that's not what it's coming across. So, yeah, just a lot of different things that go into whether I rip it out and do it again. So, all right. Yeah. Andy says here she'd love to volunteer and help on judging days and be in the room to experience the process. Yes, I do too. And I actually looked into doing that a couple of years ago and I reached out to the show and they're like, okay, yeah, you just need to sign up. And there was like a small fee to do that. And then I've totally forgot about it. And it's too late to do it this year. So yeah, maybe that'd be a 2027 thing. So yeah, I would love to do that too. Because yeah, the Mid Atlantic show, which is just up the road from me, does that. They have a couple of volunteer positions each year to help out the quilt show. Now, if you entered the show, you're not able to. But yeah, no, that I would love to get that sort of experience and feedback because yeah, that'd be wonderful to see.
So I know when you enter or when you apply to be a part of different art shows, not necessarily quilting, but I'm applying to put my work in a show in an art festival, and the jury process, whether you get your artwork in or not, is open. And so I'm actually, and it's online, so I'm actually going to watch that again just to kind of see what they're saying because only about half of the art gets accepted, and so I don't have huge expectations, but I've been looking at like last year's art and there's no fiber art. There's people who make beautiful bags or they
Yeah,
make jackets, but not what I do. And so I'm hoping I get in because it's different. But I
yeah,
am interested to see the process.
yeah. No, that'd be good. It's fun that it's open, and yeah, it's like anything else. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So yeah, I'm proud of
Right.
you for being brave enough to give it a go and just see what happens. Michelle says here, Sean, thank you. It's just what I needed to hear because I am doing a quilt with a similar thing. Oh, I'm glad I could help out in a little way. Yeah, no, just evaluate it. Just say, is it worth it? So, Raven says, I just looked at the pad and I think you had the clock right. I'm pretty sure it's the other way, but it does. Yeah, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I like how it is, whether it's right or wrong. Oh, that's beautiful. Let me spotlight you real quick, and we'll get a closer look at
I was
yours.
just being silly.
Oh
So
no,
this
you're
is what
fine.
I've done so far.
It's always good to
And
see
then I have
updates on
three
what
of
they're
these.
working on.
And they're very wonky. And so I'm going to go trim them before I put the next row in. And so the second row is always not matching. The first circle matches
Very
as
nice.
best I can. Some of the blues are different, but yeah. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have
Excellent.
7 of them. So yep.
Did I show this all together, or did I? Hang on. What did I just? No, I didn't. It's still on the sewing machine. Don't mind me. I don't know what Donnell's got herself into because she's got to have my hot mess with her in about an hour. So if you need to reschedule this, Donnell, now's the time to tell me. Okay, so this is the next section. We're definitely not going to get the whole quilt done today, but that's okay. I didn't expect to. So we've got the dormouse.
I love the cake.
I do too, and I did make some change. I did use the kit for just about 99% of this, but there were a few sections on this quilt, and this is one of them with the cake. I used Kona Sheen for the cherry, that maraschino cherry on top, because I
Yeah.
like that better than the fabric provided. But that's the flamingo. We got the look at me, you. I don't know what you can see because I'm looking at a different screen. I don't know how I'm going to show the whole quilt top off when I'm done with this. I guess I'll take a picture of it. So,
Oh, well, I remember what I wanted to ask you earlier, Sean. How do you
uh-huh.
quilt your quilts? Do you
It
quilt them?
depends. Yes, I've quilted everything of my own. I've never sent it out for a long armor. Would I consider doing it at some point? Sure. But I've always been, I guess I would like to say I'm a purist in this respect, that I like to be able to say I've done it from start to finish. But yeah, I think there's going to be some that are probably going to be too big for me to handle. I think this machine could probably take up to a queen size, maybe a king if I had to, but I don't know. Yeah, I do plan on quilting just about everything myself where I can, but if the time or it just got too difficult or just cumbersome, then I would definitely consider using a long arm or two. I've got several friends of mine that have long arms or have long arm businesses that I can make use of and that sort of thing there as well. And it'd be good to be able to support a small business here and there if I needed a long armer's help. So there you go. All right. Andy says her college is having an alumni art show and I entered a quilt. It'll be a digital display. Okay, cool. Please share that link with us once we know so we can go take a look. That'd be a lot
Yeah.
of fun to see. Yeah. So yeah, keep an eye on Andy's channel. Should be able to share that with us. And that's pretty sure we have Andy's link in now. Hang on, what are we doing next? Okay. So now we put these two together. I'm a hot mess today. Thank you all for not running away.
I'm
I
a hot
appreciate
mess
it.
every day, if that makes you feel better.
Yeah, I can't call myself the hot mess quilter because that channel name's already taken. She's a
Do we
nice
know
lady.
that person? It sounds
Yeah,
like
her
somebody
name,
I need to be friends with.
she's a lovely lady. Her name is Susan. I had her on the channel a few years ago, and she's a nurse, or was a nurse. I'm assuming she still is. She hasn't done a lot on the channel recently, but yeah, she's just a really sweet lady. So yeah, I just love her channel name. I saw that. I was like, that's someone I need to have on my channel at some point. So no, she's a lot of fun. I always like when people have fun channel names, like something memorable, like the Hot Mess Quilter. There's Mr. Quilter. I like his channel name. Like I like all the channel names, but yeah, there's some that just stick out to me. That's like yours, the Cheeky Quilters. That one kind of sticks out to me as well. Like I don't have to sit there and think about it.
Well, my mom didn't like it at first, and she said no, and I did it anyway.
That's the spirit. Yeah, it's a lot easier to remember. Like I know for me, at least, it's easier just to remember something when. Oh, hang on, I've done this wrong, haven't I? No, okay, never mind. Looking at the wrong picture. Like I made it this far without having to use Jack.
So see, I've cut him down quite a bit.
All right, Debs, it's good to see you. I hope you're doing well and having a good weekend and staying warm. What is everybody planning on working on this weekend? I know a lot of us are probably staying inside since it's not good weather to go outside. My goal is to stay inside as much as I can this weekend because, yeah, it's way too cold to go out and do anything.
I'm going to be long arming.
Well, there you go.
I've
Michelle
got a
says
few
I have a
projects
HQ
to
long arm.
load up.
HQ long arm 12 foot, and I love it. I can do from beginning end. That's awesome. I don't have the room or the money for a long arm in the house. So, and I've always figured too that by the time I went out and bought a long arm and did all that stuff, I could pay someone to make a lot of quilts for me. So, and support them and, you know, support their business that way too. So, and I can use that time to do something else.
I figured out on average, I will need, if I did an average per cost, you know, of each quilt, I will have to make 400 quilts to pay off my long arm machine. And I'm at 87, I think, right now.
Yeah, I know. I don't make quilts quickly enough to, because I do all this tiny piecing. It's not, you know, if I was doing, I know some people can knock out like 2-3 quilts a week and I admire those people. I really do. It's just like, to me, you are like my spirit animals and something I look forward to doing one day when I have more time. Let's see what we've done here. So I think this is like the left-hand side of the quilt. So we've got the cat, the clock that may or may not be upside down, the bottle. Not doing a good job showing this off, but that's okay.
Last one.
Very good. So that's that. Come back tomorrow and you'll see that in better detail. So we'll now move on to this section. Okay, so we'll grab this and this.
You know what I find really I don't know what word I want to use, frustrating perhaps, is that when I do these scrappy blocks and I look back at my scrap bag, it doesn't, like, you can't see the difference in it. It's so
Yeah,
big.
but over time it does.
Will I add more in the
Ah,
meantime so it stays?
well, the trick is to use it quicker than you gain it. So, why I think a lot of these, like a lot of channels that focus solely on scraps, do so well, because we always
Yes.
have a million scraps, and if you can show a good, fun way to overcome that, you can do quite well with that. I'm not sure if I said good morning to Miss April or not, but good morning. It's so good to see you. Yeah, Jamie says the scraps multiply. I think that's sometimes true. Layla says
They
putting
do.
borders on she's putting borders on a big half hexy braid quilt. Wish me luck. The borders are my least favorite part of the process. Okay, well, I wish you luck on that. I'm not a huge fan of borders either, but it's usually like one of the easiest parts of the process once I'm done. Although having said that, it's one of the reasons I haven't finished this quilt either. I had to cut out like these big long strips of fabric for some of this, and I finally just made myself do it last night. So I can relate to that. Oh, Russ is here. Good morning. It's good to see you. I hope everyone's staying warm and the snow hasn't started yet. No snow here. They've gone from about, they kept telling us like 12 inches, 12 inches. And then yesterday it was 6. And now they're saying maybe 2 or 3 or maybe 6. They don't know what's going on. So I was telling Amanda last night, I said, by the time we're done with this, they'll probably tell us it's 75 and sunny tomorrow. So, which I'd be okay with.
We
Like,
we had a foot of snow last year here.
yeah, I'd like to not have to go anywhere Monday, but if we don't, that's fine too, All right, where did you go? Someone told me that they have to go be a polling judge today. Not looking for, it's Michelle. Says I'm a voting polling judge and have class today. No, I'm not looking forward to go out in a bit of cold. Yeah, I wouldn't either. Is that like for an election or something
Hi,
there,
Lori.
Miss Michelle? I know my dad did that once. He was like helped out with one of the elections, like at the polling place.
I
That
did
was a
that back in
long.
the 90s in Arizona.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've never done that. So be interested in looking into that one day, just for the experience. So I don't know.
This boutique is
Michelle.
so pretty.
Oh, let me just highlight you so we can all see. Oh, that's pretty. I like that.
Have no idea where it came from, but I love it.
I'm glad I'm not the only person that has that problem, because like I sometimes pull boutiques or other stuff out of my pile. I'm like, where did this come from? Like, but like people send me stuff sometimes, and then like one of my coworkers sometimes finds stuff and thinks
So
I
it's
like
gonna
it
go
and
on
brings
this
it to
block.
me. Oh, that'd be pretty. Oh, that'll frame it nicely. Yes. Yeah, I talk to myself a lot, if you haven't already noticed. Yeah, Muriel says it's not the size of the snow that matters, it's what you do with the snow that matters. Yes, and I discovered last year that there's a difference. We normally get wet snow here, like the wet, big, heavy, wet snowflakes. And last year we got the dry snowflakes, which makes shoveling a whole lot easier. However,
Oh yeah, powder's always better.
yeah, so much easier to shovel. But we one of the kids we had, one of our exchange students last year, Ali, she did a lot of art classes and they did virtual learning. And one of the homework assignments was to make a snow sculpture out of something like a snowman or a snow, whatever it was. And oh, we had a devil of a time trying to make something because that powder snow does not do well. So the snowman turned into a snow dachshund. Yeah, she's out there outside trying to put this thing together, and Amanda's like, "Can you go outside and help her?" Yeah, I think we made a snow pig, a snow dachshund. We made a tiny little snowman. He was like this tall, but we made it work. So that was the homework, was to make one and take a picture of it.
Do your kids sometimes have or do they participate in sports in the schools ever?
Yes. We've had a couple. Lorenzo, he was on track. He did cross country, indoor track when he was here a couple of years ago. Simon played tennis because that was something that he's been interested in for a very long time, played for a lot of time in the Czech Republic. Lily, who's with us right now, she was interested in trying a sport that was new to her while she was here. So she actually joined the field hockey team, and she actually ended up
Oh,
being the manager, like one of the field managers for that, because like she
yeah,
didn't have enough playing time and that to actually play, but she got to participate in
yeah,
the practices and help out the kids. She was actually helping out the with all the practices, she'd actually help out the JV team, like the younger girls, like the freshman and sophomore girls.
yeah.
So she's actually able to go out there and practice with them, and then she'd go to the games with the varsity team. And so that was fun for her to do that. And then I think both girls are planning on playing tennis in the spring. So yeah, some of them come and don't play. Like the girls last year had no interest in playing sports, but yeah, a lot of the kids do come and want to participate in sports while they're here. All right, Katie. Well, thank you for joining. She's got to take a nap. I know you've been up super early this morning, so you go rest and look after yourself. And I'll try and pop over and hang out with you during your live later on today at 4:30. Yes, Laurie says neat field hockey. I was so excited when she said she wanted to try out for field hockey because that's a sport in Australia. It's a sport that's very, very popular for both men and women. Here, it's not so popular with the gents. So I was super excited to hear when she wanted to go play field hockey. Like I went to a bunch of her games and watched. Um, yeah, the team play. It was a lot of fun to go watch some field hockey. So yeah, I was very,
Yeah,
very, very good.
I have no experience with field hockey. Like I've not been exposed to that in my life.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, we all played field hockey. Like I wasn't very good at it, but I played during school. I was never on a like school team or anything else like that, but we just play like on sports day or like
Yeah.
me and my mates would go play. It's kind of like our version of ice hockey because we don't really have a whole lot of ice hockey rinks, and it's a lot easier than ice hockey because you're not standing on them little skates. Because I can't. I used to be able to ice skate when I was younger, but I tried it last year, I think, with the girls, and yeah, I did like 2 laps around the rink, and I was like, yeah, I'm done.
No, yeah. I
I can still
again have experimented a couple of times, but I did not grow up with ice. So
no. Me either. I think the nearest ice rink to me growing up was in Sydney, and that was like about a 6.5 hour trip. So, um, yeah, roller skating I can do.
yes.
That one I can do. And we went roller skating a few weeks after we went ice skating. And I was like, okay, let me try and see if I can still roller skate because and yeah, that was fine. I could roller skate just like I could, maybe not as quickly as I could 25 years ago, but I could still do it. So I was quite proud of myself on that. But yeah, no, my ice skating days are done. I mean, I'm sure I could go practice a bunch and get back to it if I really, really wanted to, but I had no desire to. So I will sit on the sideline and watch the kids, skate if they want to do it again. I don't know if these two actually want to do any ice skating. I'll have to ask them one day if it's something they want to do. Because we can always just go and sit and watch, or go drop them off and come and pick them up later. That'll be something for me to ask them later on. But I'm just trying to get this
I
next
know we're
section.
only as old as we feel because we mentioned that earlier.
Yeah.
However, my bones, if they fall, if I tried to ice skate, my bones would know how old I am.
Yeah. Well, it's not the falling it hurts, it's always the landing.
Falling is
I just
fun.
I just had trouble because your center of gravity is on that tiny little 1 inch wide piece of metal. That's where I just couldn't I couldn't do it. Oh yes, Sheila says Tab High School has been state champions in the field hockey many times. My daughter played. Yes, the school we send our kids to played Tab, and yeah, they got annihilated. That team was just fantastic. Tab's like one of the high schools closer to Sheila. She's on the other side of the water from me. So yeah, no, they are very, very. I can see. Yeah, and Lily told me, yeah, Tab's like really, really good, and they've been state champions, and yeah, they've got a really, really good field hockey program there. So it was fun to see them. It was fun to see them play. It really was. So
My
no,
son
I
played lacrosse, and that was a great sport.
yeah. If you like lacrosse, I think you'd like field hockey because it's kind of similar, just a different stick. Oops, what did I just do there? Oh, I'm a hot mess today.
Look at my
Alright,
hot
so
mess.
well, that's fun.
I'm just gonna cut it off.
There you go.
My feed dogs are eating my fabric. They're hungry.
Oh, that's not good. Good morning, Susan, the quirky hand quilter. It's good to see you. Okay, so apparently it's barely flowering down there in the Atlanta area where Russ is. Did I do this right? Yes. I actually made more progress on this than I thought I would. So that's encouraging.
Once you get those big pieces together, it usually goes pretty good.
Yeah, I always try to plan more to do than I have time for during a live because I don't want to get like 45 minutes into it and then have nothing to do. But it's always encouraging when you get more done. Sometimes I do more talking than sewing too. So,
I
right,
always
Danelle,
do more talking.
that's okay. People like to come and hang out with us. It's like a big group of mates just hanging out. Sometimes we get some sewing done, sometimes we don't. And I haven't run out of thread yet in my bobbin, so that's even better. I thought I'd run out of that. Andy says her daughter was a figure skater. All the Olympic hype makes her miss it. Oh, that's sad. Yeah, I've always wanted to go
Oh,
see the Winter Olympics, but it'd be a lot of money to
starting
go see
soon,
it.
huh?
Yeah, I thought about going to see the Olympics when it was in Sydney back in 2000, but this wasn't going to work out. So I did get to see the Olympic torch, so that was fun. Yeah, they had the Olympic torch relay go around Australia, and actually it came through my hometown. I was coming back from the US and almost missed it, but I was able to get home like with an hour to spare. So that was fun. Hazy is joyful. It's good to see you. She says, "Great work on that caterpillar mushroom. So cute." Yeah, this has been a fun project. It's gonna be sad to see it done, but I do need to move on to some other stuff, and I still get to quilt it at some point. So you'll get to see this a little more in the future. But I want to try and finish this one and the Winnie the Pooh 100 Acre Woods pattern before the new Peter Pan one starts in April, which I've got, what, 2 months left now? Oh, I should be able to get it done.
Do you have a plan for it once it's done?
I'm going to quilt it somehow. No, not yet. I have no idea. I'll figure it out eventually. I think I've got to figure out first, am I going to, because I think it's going to go, like, I'll end up giving it to my wife. But am I going to enter it into a show, or am I just going to quilt it? Because that's going to make a big difference in how it gets quilted. If it's just going to be like a home quilt, then I'll probably just do something fairly basic and just keep it fairly simple. Whereas if it's a show quilt, then I'd do a lot more intricate stuff. I think I'll probably just do a show quilt, not a show quilt, just make it a home quilt and not worry about it too much. So Susan said she dreamt of being an Olympic skater whenever I watched skating on TV. Yeah, that is awesome. I know I was never going to be a bigger skater. Like, I figured all I'd do is end up with my tail and get a 0 score. I always wanted to. Okay, so let's ask this question. If you were going to be in the Winter Olympics, what sport would you like to compete in?
This is like dream, right? Like we
Of
don't
course,
actually have to do
not
the
based
thing.
on skill, because for me, I wouldn't qualify for anything. But yeah, let's say dream situation, you had the skill, you had the knowledge, and you could compete against the rest of the world in the Olympic winter sport. Which one would you like it to be?
I would like to be one of those ones that feels like she's flying. You go down the ramp that goes down and up, and then it shoots you off the other end, and you just do like this,
Oh
like
yeah,
a
the
jumper, a ski jumper, I guess.
ski jump. Yeah, okay, that's a good answer. Yeah, and I'd love
Because
to
it
hear
feels
too.
like it looks like flying to me.
Well, it is. You are flying, like, because if you actually look if you look at the videos of people like who's run up those hills and that sort of thing, there like that, you are flying. Like, you'd probably drop a good 100 foot or something like that.
Oh,
So
yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
everybody has good answers.
I know, I love this. For me, I think it'd be a toss up between that, like the indoor ice skating, not the track skating, like not the short track, because that thing's just way too intense. Because those people knock each other out all the time. It's how Australia got their first gold medal. Stephen Bradbury when the yeah, if you haven't seen that, go watch the 2002 Salt Lake City Olympics short track final and see how that one went. But yeah, for me, it'd be like the long track skating, because I think that'd be fun. But I think my all-time, if I only got to choose one, I've always said like bobsled and that, but I think I'd want to do skeleton, because I want to be able to
Now,
like luge. Luge would be fun, but you're kind of on your back and you're not seeing where you're going. Like, I'd want to go head first so I can actually see where I'm going. So I think skeleton would be me. I know I'm crazy. Let's see what answers do we have here. We got snowboard half pipe. Andy says ski jumps are cool. Yeah, I think ski jumping would be fun too. But I'd just probably crash. Ice dancing would be fun too. Figure skating is what Laurie said. Biathlon from Sheila. Well, that's an interesting choice. I like that. Zaza says it's really high. I've seen a ski jump. I've only ever seen it on TV shows and stuff. Ellen says
like in real life,
bobsled.
that terrifies me, but in the fantasy world, it would be fun.
Exactly. Yeah, we have the skill and everything else. Twyla says the bobsled. Andy says the man on the legs on those speed skaters. Yeah, they must have some wicked muscles there. Zaza says her husband wants to do the luge. Yeah, I just don't know that I want to lay on my back flying down that ice ramp and not see where I'm going. That's why it'd have to be a bobsled or skeleton. Like if you're going to crash on one of those things, you got to hurt just as quickly. At least you want to be able to see what you're
And you
going to
won't
hit.
see it coming.
Yeah. Susan says downhill racing, love the speed. Yeah, and that's another choice too. But I did downhill skiing at a high speed by accident once, and almost killed myself. So I'm kind of a little gun shy on that now. So yeah, like first time I went skiing in New Zealand, I went to ski school. and they taught you how to ski and they taught you how to brake and everything else. And then there's like, oh, here's a lift ticket, off you go. And so I went
Yeah.
up there and I got to the top of the hill and I saw all these people going, side to side down the hill. And I'm like, why are you doing that? You just go straight down. And so me and my mate were flying down this hill at like 100 miles, felt like 100 miles an hour. And I had to come to a turn where you're supposed to turn. And I was like, okay, so I put my brakes on and I wasn't stopping. And so I could continue on this one route for about, 200 or 300 yards. And then it had a U-turn. And if you didn't make that U-turn, you went flying over this hill on top of the ski lodge. And I'm like, oh crap, I'm in trouble now. And so I wasn't stopping. And so I ended up just, jumping to the side and laying down and just like stopping that way. And that was
I had
okay.
a
I didn't
similar
get hurt.
experience.
Yeah. I didn't get hurt, thankfully, but I remember stopping, looking back, and here's my mate flying down behind me. I still had one ski on. He hit my ski, and he just went like Superman and crashed. That was the end of his ski. He said he was done skiing after that. So, yeah, we learned why you go from side to side. They didn't teach us that at ski school. So if you're a ski instructor, please tell your students that they have to go from side to side down the hill. So the idiots
To
don't,
slow 'em
what
down.
idiots like me don't do.
I was really good at cross country or Nordic skiing because I was a runner. Um, but then when I got into the hilly parts of the Nordic skiing, um, again, it was hard to slow yourself down going down those hills and then making the curves.
Yeah. Yeah, I should have known better because I tried that during cross country running one time. It was a big steep hill, and everyone was walking down it, and I just ran down it. I made about 6 or 7 steps, and then fell and cut my leg open.
Oh,
So
ouch.
you think I would have learnt that, but no, dumb young Sean wasn't that smart. So that's okay. Okay, so there you go. So that's our thing there. So again, I'm looking forward to the Winter Olympics. I like watching those. I think I prefer them to the Summer Olympics for a lot of things. So a lot of the fun sports. I'm always in a house divided because like Amanda will cheer for the US and I've always had to cheer for Australia, even though they're not that good at most sports. So there you go. And then,
I'm an underdog person too, though. I'll always cheer for the underdog.
well, I've got to cheer for my home country. I mean, it'd just be wrong not to. But it'll be interesting.
I
Like
agree with you.
we've hosted for all these years, and this will actually be the first year that we'll actually have kids here during the Winter Olympics.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
All right. So we'll go ahead and finish up in just a minute, but I will show you this part. Muriel says that's why I love rollerblades because it's like downhill skiing. Oh, excellent. Yeah. All right. Leanna is here. She says, stopping in for a bit. Let's give Sean the thumbs up. Curling is one. Ah, yes, curling. I would love to do curling.
Curling.
Yes. So
And
that's
I've
the
got 2
caterpillar.
blocks done. Well, they'll be done in time.
Fine. Andy's got a great question here. She says, I always wonder about other athletes. Can you find Aussie broadcasts to see how they do? Yes, if I use a VPN, I can usually log on to the Australian networks and see how they're doing. The Australian Olympic people have a website on there as well, so I can check the medal count and replays and that sort of thing there. But if I wanted to watch like the Australian Olympic broadcast, I think I can use a VPN and do it that way there as well. So that's a good question. Okay, Melanie Taylor says when she lived in Chula Vista, California, there was an Olympic training facility near there. Yeah, I'd like to go to Salt Lake City and see what they have out there one day. Leanna says she's taking curling classes in Canada. So much fun. It was actually an Olympic training place in Montreal. Yeah, I'd love to go try curling one day, but I think the nearest one to me is like in Richmond or Northern Virginia.
Sounds
So
like a fun trip.
yeah, there you go. All right, so Amber, what do you have coming up on your channel that you would like to tell us about, if anything?
We're not having any big projects right now. Honestly, we just do our Wednesday lives has been the biggest thing. We're actually going to be talking about quilt panels this Wednesday coming up because we had a live discussion. For those of you who I think there's a few people here today that were on our last Wednesday, and we had a discussion about whether we like panels or not. I am on the I don't like a panel quilt. My mom loves panels, so we're going to do a whole discussion about panels.
Okay, that sounds interesting. So yeah, definitely
Yeah.
duck over to Amber's channel. I'm just going to put the link in one more time. If you're watching a replay, you can just check it out and just go, oh, that looks pretty. I like that. And check out that discussion. So that'll be a lot of fun to see how that goes. And I'm sure they'll be able to listen to the chat and see what everybody else has to say as well. So that'll be a lot of fun. I'll have to try and find out, see if I can pop in to see that as there as well. So for me, I'll be back tomorrow. Actually, okay, for me, let's start with today. 10 a.m. So in like 29 minutes, I'll be over at Donnell's channel. So duck over and visit Donnell, and we're going to be putting together the piece of fabric. This. There you go. Blue 7 of the Puzzle Mystery Quilt by Cotton Cuts. So that's at 10 o'clock this morning. So go over and check that out. It'll be a lot of fun. Tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., we'll go visit Katie over at Greenwood Quilter because her and I will be putting together our legit kits. She is putting together Ursula Minor and Major, which is not a snowman, a polar bear. They're kind of similar, right? And then I'll be continuing on with Toasty the Dragon. So we've got that. And then at 9 a.m. Eastern, we'll have my next episode of my podcast. So yeah, lots of quilty goodness coming on for me. Go check it out. Russ will be live at 11. Love and Pop should be live later on, assuming they have power and all that sort of stuff there. And then, Katie will be live on at 4 or 4:30 this afternoon. I can never remember which one it is, but go check it out. So lots of quilty goodness. Thank you all so much for tuning in today. It's always a pleasure to have so many people turn up. I really appreciate you supporting the channel. If you did enjoy it, please hit that like button on the way out. Thank you again, Amber, for hanging out with us today. It was a pleasure hanging out, chatting with you. We'll have to do this again soon. And until next time, Ellen's asking me, did I get my Field of Dreamers kit yet? No, it's in route. I should get it early next week, according to the tracking. It looks like it's in Richmond, so I should see it early next week. So there you go. So yeah, I saw Leanna she sewed up her clue up. She said it was a breeze. So yeah, I saw that too. I've actually got a second project on standby, so if I finish it early, I have something else to do. So that'll be fun. So you'll get to see that in about 30 minutes. Thank you again for joining us. It's been a pleasure. I hope you'll have a great day. Happy sewing, and we'll see you all over at Donnell's in about half hour. Bye, guys.